Bloop's Interdimensional Cafeteria Peace Summit, told by Teddy Smith. Act 1. How Breakfast Almost Ended Galactic Diplomacy. The morning Bloop almost ruined interdimensional diplomacy, with breakfast started like any other cafeteria disaster at Galactic Academy. I was just trying to get coffee. The cafeteria at 8 a.m. is a gravity-stabilized war zone. You have hover trays drifting past, tentacles ordering 5 things at once, and at least one species arguing with the juice machine. It is not the kind of place where you expect the fate of peace talks to be decided. It is the kind of place where you expect your toast to be slightly burnt and possibly alive. I had just grabbed a mug when a glowing furball bounced into my peripheral vision. "Teddy, Teddy," Bloop shouted. His bioluminescent fur flashed neon pink and gold. "Perfect human has arrived." "That is a lot of pressure for someone who has not had caffeine yet," I said. He beamed. "Today is Peace Summit Day, and I," he puffed up proudly, "am catering." Brenda jogged up beside me, slightly out of breath, her hair pulled back in a messy knot. She gave me a quick smile that hit me harder than the coffee. "You didn't warn him yet, did you?" she said to Bloop. Bloop's 6 bouncing eyeballs wobbled. I wanted the moment to be cinematic. I narrowed my eyes. "Warn me about what, exactly?" "He reverse-engineered Pop-Tarts," Brenda said. I stared at her. "I have follow-up questions, and they are all screaming." Bloop seemed delighted by my horror. "Humans love Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts appear in your movies, your memes, your nostalgic breakfast monologues. I studied everything. I made an improved, inclusive version, safe for all species. No one will explode. Probably." "That is not the comfort you think it is," I muttered. Catherine Watts slid into our little circle, balancing a tray with the studied grace of someone who had survived an entire extra year here. "Let me guess," she said. "You did this without running it through the Academy's cross-species food safety protocols." Bloop hesitated. "I ran it through my heart, which is full of friendship." "Yeah," Catherine sighed, "that is not a recognized standard." Before we could talk him out of it, the cafeteria intercom chimed. "Attention students and esteemed guests," a cheerful automated voice announced. "Welcome to the Interdimensional Cafeteria Peace Summit, hosted by student facilitator Bloopty Nan Nan. Today's theme, Unity Through Shared Snacks. Please refrain from weaponizing the cutlery." I looked at Brenda. She looked at me. We both groaned. "This is going to be bad, right?" I asked. "Oh yeah," she said, "spectacularly." Alien delegations began filing into the cafeteria and taking their places at long tables. Some wore official robes, some wore armor. One group was just a cluster of sentient mist huddled around a humidifier. The Academy had gone all out. Then Professor Gleepnax floated in on his anti-grav jelly chair, 12 eye stalks swiveling in 12 directions at once. Kevin, the parasitic worm on his shoulder, gave us a lazy, judgmental wave. "That does it," I said. "We are officially doomed." Act 2, the Pop-Tart Uprising and the Portal Problem. The Peace Summit began with Bloop rolling out 3 silver trays like he was hosting a game show. "Behold," he cried, "the symbol of human harmony, Pop-Tarts." They glowed faintly. That is never what you want from a pastry. He offered the first one to a Glibnakian diplomat. The Glibnakian sniffed it. "Smells like fear and sugar," it said. Then it took a bite. The Pop-Tart screamed. The entire room went silent. Brenda coughed. "Bloop, please tell me you did not accidentally make them sentient again." Catherine turned slowly. "Again?" Bloop fluffed up. "They were only slightly sentient last time." The pastry wriggled out of the diplomat's grasp, landed on the table, and shook crumbs off like a tiny, furious dog. "We demand autonomy," it shouted in a surprisingly loud voice for something that had no lungs. Around the room, more Pop-Tarts twitched, flopped, and stood up. Sprinkles glittered like battle armor. "Oh no," I whispered, "they are unionizing." Before anyone could react, a loud crackle rippled through the air behind the serving line. Reality did a little twist. A swirling portal, about 2 meters across, tore open above the counter. "You have got to be kidding me," Brenda said. Catherine squinted. "That is a wormhole." I followed their gaze. "Please tell me that is a controlled, intentional wormhole." "It is a wormhole that is supposed to be hooked to the dorm delivery system," Catherine said. which means it is very much not supposed to be here. The portal spit out a bowl of purple noodles at high speed. It flew across the room and slapped Zani Throcknell directly in the face. He froze. Noodles slid slowly down his cactus squid spikes. "Who," Zani said in a low, dangerous voice, "is responsible for this culinary attack?" Bloop hesitated, then raised a paw. "Unity?" "No," Zani growled, "not Unity." The wormhole coughed up more stuff. Alien spices, a crate of unfamiliar fruit, a stack of laminated diplomatic brochures, someone's laundry, a very confused goat. Every new arrival triggered a wave of shouting. At the same time, the sentient Pop-Tarts were organizing. One climbed onto a water pitcher and addressed the room. "We reject frosting-based governance," it declared. "We demand recognition as sapient beings. Also, we want better temperature control." Another yelled, "Sprinkles for all species." Professor Gleepnax clapped two jelly limbs together. "How delightful," he said. "They have achieved rudimentary democracy." Kevin the worm sighed. "You really have lost control of your classwork." A blinding flash lit up the side of the room as the wormhole dumped someone new into the cafeteria. A tall figure in a cloak of shimmering zero-point silk hit the floor, rolled and sprang up with surprising grace. The newcomer glared around. "Who dares summon me without diplomatic notice?" Brenda inhaled sharply. "Oh no, that is the ambassador from the Quanaxian Theoretical Council." The ambassador brushed Pop-Tart crumbs off his cloak and looked around at the chaos. Sentient pastries shouting, Zani dripping noodles, a goat standing on a chair, the slowly spinning portal. "This," he said, "is an insult." He turned his gaze on Bloop. Bloop dimmed. His glow faded from neon to a worried pastel. "I did not mean disrespect," he said quietly. "I wanted peace. The galaxy fights. Humans trip over everything. I thought maybe we could share something sweet together." My stomach did a little twist. I am a freshman human screw-up. I recognize my own kind. Bloop reminded me of me, just fuzzier. "Okay," I said, stepping forward. "We can still salvage this." Brenda gave me a look. "How?" I swallowed. "No idea, but if we talk like we know what we are doing, sometimes the universe believes us for a few minutes." Act 3. How we did not fix everything but fixed enough. We split up like we actually had a plan. Brenda grabbed Catherine's arm. "We handle the wormhole," she said. "If it keeps dumping VIPs on us, we are getting expelled or vaporized or both." Catherine nodded. "I love a challenge. Also, I prefer my atoms in one place." They ran for the maintenance console next to the serving hatch. Brenda started hammering commands into the interface, while Catherine yanked open a panel and began rerouting cables with the confidence of someone who had definitely broken this system before and lived to tell the tale. I turned to face the Pop-Tart caucus. Their crumbly leader tilted its frosting at me. "State your offer, tall, soft one." "I cannot promise you everything," I said, "but I can offer respect. You woke up this morning and found out you were snacks. That is rough. You did not ask to exist, or to be eaten, or to be dragged into galactic politics." The other pastries murmured. A blueberry one sniffled. "You deserve a say in your own fate," I went on, "and you should not have to scream every time someone takes a bite. That is traumatic for everyone involved." The leader folded its corners thoughtfully. Across the room, Bloop took a shaky breath and stepped toward the ambassador. "Sir," he said, his voice trembling, "I am responsible. I borrowed the wormhole routing because I wanted fresh ingredients from everywhere. I thought if everyone tasted each other's food, they might understand each other. I did not think about safety protocols, or consent, or screaming pastries." The ambassador's expression softened slightly. "Your incompetence is staggering," he said, "but your intent was not malicious." "That is basically my whole personality," Bloop admitted. Zani floated closer, still dripping noodles. "Ambassador," he said, sounding like it personally hurt to be helpful, "I propose a compromise. The humans and the Frubaxian will host future summits. Under supervision, with food certified non-sentient." "Seconded," I called. Gleepnax raised a tentacle. "Pedagogically sound." Kevin muttered, surprisingly. The ambassador considered us for a long, uncomfortable moment while Brenda and Catherine cursed at the console in the background. Wormhole stabilizing, Brenda yelled. The portal flickered wildly. A last burst of rainbow slime splattered onto the floor, and then the wormhole snapped shut with a noise like a draining bathtub. The Pop-Tart leader turned back to me. "We will stand down," it said. "We request asylum and reasonable working conditions." "In the cafeteria?" I asked. "Preferably somewhere warm, but not too close to the broiler," it replied. "We are delicate." I pointed at the small convection oven in the corner. "You can have that as your embassy. Toasted if you want, door open if you do not." The pastries cheered. Crumbs flew like confetti. The ambassador drew himself up. "Very well," he said. "Order has been partially restored. Today's summit may continue, under the following conditions." He ticked them off on long, glowing fingers. 1. All future diplomatic food must clear safety protocols. 2. The wormhole remains under faculty control. 3. No more sentient pastries without a signed consent form. Bloop's glow brightened a little. "Thank you, sir." I stepped closer to him. "Hey," I said softly. "For the record, this was a terrible idea." His fur drooped again. I nudged him with my elbow. "But it was a terrible idea because you care. And that kind of matters." Brenda joined us, brushing a smear of grease off her cheek. "He is right," she said. "Humans blow things up all the time, not on purpose. It is a growth process." Catherine laughed. "And hey, you got us recognition for a brand new political minority. Sentient breakfast." Zani groaned. "Do not encourage that phrase." The intercom chimed again. "Resuming Interdimensional Cafeteria Peace Summit," the system announced. "Reminder, please treat all attendees and pastries with respect." Everyone slowly returned to their seats. A few delegates picked up non-sentient snacks with cautious optimism. The sentient Pop-Tarts settled proudly into their toaster embassy. Babs appeared beside us with a mug of coffee, which was impressive because I had not seen her arrive. "Not bad," she said. "No one died. No one declared war. The cafeteria is only moderately destroyed. For this place, that is a win." "You knew about the wormhole, didn't you?" I asked. She smiled in that innocent way that meant she absolutely did. "I have no idea what you are talking about, Teddy." As the summit trudged forward, with slightly less shouting and slightly more listening, I looked around at the mess we had made and sort of fixed. Humans had been at the Academy for all of 5 minutes, galactically speaking, and we were already on the list of species that nearly derailed diplomacy with dessert. Honestly, it felt about right. If you enjoyed the story, please remember to like, subscribe, and share.